So Figma shook things up by adding AI features to their platform, but after a massive backlash from the public, they quickly backtracked. And if that wasn't enough, they rolled out a bunch of interface updates that are not sitting well with the design community either. It seems like there's a growing wave in the design world right now where everyone is turning against Figma, and you're probably here right now looking for a solid replacement. Well, I am too. Now, I've reviewed many UI tools on this channel with the potential of replacing Figma, but let's be real, none of them can actually replace Figma in a professional, production-ready environment. However, there's one tool that's making waves right now, and it's called Uizard. It's gaining a lot of traction, especially with their new release of Auto Designer 2.0. So now even big names like InVision are endorsing it. So in this video, I will show you everything that Uizard does, but more importantly, everything that it doesn't do, which will then lead us to the conclusion if Uizard is the right choice for you, if you're a professional designer or if you're someone with an idea looking to create a concept. Stay tuned till the end. I will share my honest rating from a UI UX designer's perspective, and I'll also have some suggestions for you in terms of UI tools in the AI world right now. Let's get into it. Now, the interface might look a little bit overwhelming or intimidating for you right now, but I promise after this video, you're gonna find it very easy to use and it's very simple. Let's quickly break down the features in simple terms. First, you have the two main AI features, which is generate screens with AI and modify elements with AI. You can generate a project by selecting that option and following the screen prompts, and it's very easy. And it will also generate the prototype for you, so all the links to the pages are already in there generated, but most of the time they're not accurate, so you're gonna need to get in there and edit them manually. And then to generate a specific screen, you can do that with the AI prompt at the bottom here, and enter the prompt with your details that you're looking for. Now, this feature works well, but it doesn't produce the best looking AI in my opinion. It's sort of like the early days of image generation where you could clearly tell that an image is AI generated. Same thing here, some things don't make sense and some things are obviously AI generated. So you're gonna have to do a lot of adjustments to get exactly what you want from the screens. But it's a good starting point to say the least. Now, the other feature is modifying elements with AI, and this lets you enter a prompt to modify any selected element or a group of elements. You can do that by selecting any element or set of elements on the screen and enter your prompt at the bottom. I found this feature to be very limited, but it's accurate when you ask it something within its capability, which is pretty much the basic stuff that won't take much time to do manually anyway, like modifying the styling. So in this example here, I asked it to add tick marks to the slider, and it did that properly. But when I asked it to transform the slider into a circular slider, it actually messed everything up, and it gave me something that is not usable. But it actually messes up when you ask it for something that it can't do. So my problem here is that you don't know the limitations of this feature. It's not clear what it can and cannot do, so you're gonna have to mess with it and try multiple things until you actually get a hang of its capabilities. But then you might find out that doing your modifications manually might be faster. Now, other AI features they have here is generate images, generate themes, and generate text. For images, the image quality is way behind the current image generators out there, but good enough for placeholder images. It just doesn't give you the production-ready quality of images that you might need in like a hero section or for a splash screen in a mobile app, but it's good enough for placeholders. Now, generating themes will give you a set of colors based on your prompt or your screenshot or your website. So you can do that by going to the prompt panel and selecting Generate Theme, and it will give you the options. It allows you to preview your design with a new theme before applying it. I think it works well, but it's very basic. And then you have generated text, which works by selecting any text element, and then you get alternative text to your selection. A lot of the time it gives me text that is not usable for the given element. Now, the other tools we have here are converting something existing to UI, which is wireframes or sketches or screenshots. I found this feature to work very well, much better than other AI tools for UI. It even converted my sketches perfectly, which I love. So you can do that by either uploading your sketches or your screenshots. When you convert a screenshot to UI, it will not give you the proper elements like icons and toggles. It just gives you a screenshot of them, which is not very ideal. Now, the last AI feature we have here is Design Review with AI. This feature will mainly look at your design and give you suggestions based on usability and accessibility. I found it useful in some instances, but don't believe everything that it says, because some of the advice it gave me is completely wrong. It seems like it's programmed to always give 5 good things and 5 bad things, which makes me not trust it, because it's always trying to invent things to fill those slots. Even if you keep changing everything that it suggests, it will always keep coming up with 5 bad things every time. And the weird thing is, if you let it review its own design, it will still find 5 bad things about it. And it doesn't make sense because, I mean, if the AI is coming up with a design, it should already know those bad things and give me the perfect design. Now, obviously, it's not the same AI working here, the one that's looking at your design and the one generating your design. I don't think it's a multimodal AI here, and it's not contextually aware of your whole project. But you can always use this feature just to see what it's saying, because sometimes it gives you actually good suggestions. Now we have the non-AI features. We have templates for screens and components, pretty large library of good-looking UIs. Another feature is collaboration, which allows you to collaborate with other team members. And you have prototyping, and then you have handoff, which will export images or SVG, and it will even give you CSS and React code. Now let's talk about the missing features. Because if you look at the marketing videos for Uizard, they will tell you everything. They have all of these cool features, but they don't tell you what they don't have, of course. But there's actually a lot of missing features that prevent me from actually implementing this tool in my workflow. First of all, there's no components, and there isn't even any way to change one element that is repeated across all screens. So if you're looking to change an element or an icon in your tab bar, for example, you're gonna have to go to every screen and change it manually like it's 2010. You also don't have auto layout or any layout features. I mean, elements are independent from each other. There's no hierarchy and no control for groups of elements in relation to each other. There's no way to organize your layout. There's no padding control. You don't even have responsive elements, so you cannot resize elements or containers or groups. You really have to do everything manually here. Another thing that's missing here is asset management. You cannot import or create your own asset library. There's no organized way to organize your assets or hand off except for exporting your elements. Another missing feature here is the planning or ideation features, like creating diagrams and user flows. That's not existent in this app either, which is a very important feature to have. But by far, my main issue with Uizard is that it does not allow you to export to Figma. I mean, all the other missing features would be fine with me if I could actually export to Figma and then continue my work on my design over there. But having your design isolated here with no tools to actually create production-ready designs, no way to manipulate your design in any friendly way or any good way that is usable, I mean, just adding the compatibility with Figma would go a long way for me here. If they had that, I would actually generate some designs here and bring them over to Figma and continue my professional work there. But this tool does not allow me to have any professional tools, and it does not allow me to export. So there's no way for me to actually use this. I'm sorry. Now for my honest rating, I'm gonna rate it based on 5 criteria. That's usability, functionality, performance, compatibility, and then pricing. Now for usability. As I said before, the interface is a little bit overwhelming, especially with the lack of functionality. I mean, Figma is overwhelming, but that's justified because Figma actually does have a lot of tools. But here you have no tools, but an overwhelming layout that makes it feel like it has all of those tools, but it doesn't. So it's a little bit overcomplicated in my opinion without the need for it. So I believe the UI here could be much simpler. All of these sidebar options could be consolidated. Other issues with usability are that sometimes the AI gets stuck and it doesn't give me feedback on what's happening. It just stays in loading mode. On the other hand, a good thing about this tool is that they have a lot of tutorials and a lot of videos and a lot of guides inside the app that will tell you what to do. So that's a plus. So for usability, I'm gonna give it a 6/10. Now for functionality, as I mentioned before, there's a lot of missing features. No layout features, no components, no states, no padding, no responsive elements. The prototyping is a good feature and it works well. But other than that, it's just generating UIs for you and throwing them on the page for you. But there's no actually good functionality to edit those layouts or to create your own layouts. It's just giving you very basic, very simple manual editing tools. So for functionality, I'm gonna have to give it a 3/10. So for performance, let's talk about what it actually can do well. The AI tools here perform very well compared to other AI tools for UI, and converting sketches and wireframes to UI works very well. The accuracy is very satisfying to me, but it does have limitations. Basically, the things that it does well, and I'm very happy with that. So I'm gonna give it a 7/10 for performance. Now for compatibility, no export for Figma or any other UI tool. That's a huge negative for me. Also, you don't have plugins, so that eliminates a lot of functionality as well. Maybe if they had the community plugins capability, it would help with the missing functionality. Being able to export CSS and React code is a plus. You can also import from all of the other design tools. So you can import from Figma, Sketch, or XD. So that's a really good feature. It just doesn't go the other way around. So for compatibility, I'm gonna have to give it a 3 over 10. Now for pricing, the Pro plan costs $19 per month. It's more expensive than competitors. Similar AI tools for UI design cost less, and the Pro plan is still limited. It doesn't have the brand kit features, so that's a negative for me as well. And it's also more expensive than Figma. I mean, we got all of the editing tools in Figma, but nothing here. It's very light on the features, but more expensive. Yeah, Figma is $15 a month. This one is $19. So for pricing, I'm gonna have to give it a 2 over 10. So the total comes down to 21 over 50, which is 42%. I hope it gets better in the future. It seems like they're only focusing on the AI features and they're missing all of the basic UI interface design tools that are essential for any UI tool out there. Even if it's creating designs with AI, you're still gonna have to use those basic editing tools and layout tools and components. So yeah, I hope they pay attention to those, otherwise I will not be able to use this in my workflow. It seems like everyone is thinking that this is the replacement for Figma, but to me it sounds like it's far away from that at the moment in its current form. And I highly recommend my previous video where I reviewed Visily, which is a similar tool to Uizard, but it actually performed better. So that's all I gotta say. Subscribe to stay updated with the latest AI tools, and I'll see you around.